story. I'm going to tell it in English, but there's going to be some Russian words in there. So when we say Russian words, I'm going to ask you to help me say them, okay? So we'll all say them together. So once upon a time, there lived a family. There was a little girl, and she had a little younger brother. And they lived there with their mama and their papa. And one day, the mama and the papa, they had to go to work. So they said to their daughter, they said, keep an eye on the little one. Make sure that nothing happens to him. And don't go in the yard.
Why?
Not to go there. And when we get back, we'll have some supper. So off the parents went. And the girl, as soon as they left, she forgot all about what they said. She took her little brother and she put him under the window. And she ran off into the yard. While she was in the yard, Chuda-Yuda swooped in. So this is, can we all say Chuda-Yuda? Yeah, Chuda-Yuda was a dragon known to cause some mischief in these parts. And Chuda-Yuda swooped in and snatched up that little brother and flew away. The little girl came out. She looked under the window. There was no brother. Oh no, she said. I forgot I wasn't supposed to go in the yard. And she thought about how sad her brother must be to be away. And she thought about her parents. They would be sad too. And she ran here and she looked there. Then she ran here and she looked there. He wasn't anywhere. And she called out his name, but did he answer? No. So finally, she looked out over the fields and far away she saw Chuda-Yuda flying. Ah, she thought to herself, he must have snatched up my brother. Because remember, Chuda-Yuda causes a lot of mischief. So she went after Chuda-Yuda to try to chase him, watching the sky way up high to see if he's up there. And the first thing she saw when she started chasing him was an oven. She came up to the oven and she said, Oven, oven, do you know which way Chuda-Yuda went? And Oven said, eat one of my rye buns and I will tell you. The little girl said, rye buns? I don't even eat the wheat ones at home. So the oven didn't tell her, and the little girl kept on running. She kept on running and running until she came to an apple tree. She said, apple tree, did you see where Chuda-Yuda went? The apple tree said, eat one of my wild apples and I will tell you. The little girl said, wild apples? I don't even eat the ones in our orchard. So the apple tree didn't tell her. And the little girl kept running and running and running until she came to a river of milk with banks of pudding. Does everybody know what pudding is? Yeah. Yeah, pudding is this kind of special thing. Tastes kind of sweet, kind of mushy. And she said, river of milk with banks of pudding. Did you see where Chuda-Yuda went? The river said, eat some of my simple pudding and I will tell you. The little girl said, simple pudding? I don't even eat the one at home. So the river didn't tell her. The little girl kept running. She kept running and looking for her brother. She went into the forest. She went into the swamps. But she didn't see him anywhere. Finally, she put her head down and she started heading home. And that's when she saw a little house. What a strange house, she thought. This house had chicken feet. Yeah. So the little girl saw the house. It was already getting so dark. She burst into the house. And inside the house, she saw Baba Yaga. And Baba Yaga was sitting and she was spinning yarn. And she said, little girl, why have you burst into my house so? The little girl said, I've been running through the woods. My dress is all torn. I'm so hungry and thirsty. And Baba Yaga said, "Very well. You can stay here. Why don't you sit over there and spin my yarn?" So the little girl sat and she started spinning yarn. And what did she see? She saw her little brother playing with some silver apples. So she kept spinning the yarn while Baba Yaga had gone away somewhere. Little girl thought Baba Yaga was making her some food. That's when she heard a rap tap tap coming outside the door. It was a little bear cub. The little bear cub said, "Oh, little maiden, little girl, can you please give me some porridge?" Does everyone know what porridge is? Yeah, like kasha, right? Yeah. "Can you please give me some porridge, some kasha? I'm so hungry." And I will tell you what's really happening here. The little girl said, "Of course I will." So she went over and she looked around in Baba Yaga's kitchen. She looked around, she found some porridge. She brought the porridge over to the little cub, and the little cub said, "Baba Yaga isn't cooking you any food. She's gone out to cook up a magic potion. She's going to turn you and your little brother into goats, and she's going to make you eat grass and eat brush, and you'll never see your parents again." The little girl said, "Oh no, what will we do? She'll find out and she'll send Chuda Yuda after us." Let's say it all together. Chuda Yuda. Yeah. What are we going to do? The little cub said, "Why don't you give me some more porridge? And I will stay here and I will trick Baba Yaga. I will help you." So the little girl went over back to the kitchen. She got some porridge. She gave it to the cub. Then she took her brother and she ran out. The little bear cub sat down and started spinning the yarn. Baba Yaga came and she knocked. She said, "Little girl in there, are you still spinning your yarn?" And the cub changed his voice and he answered back in the girl's voice and said, "Oh, yes, I am. The yarn's working just fine." "Very well," said Baba Yaga, and she went back to keep cooking her magic potion. And after some time, Baba Yaga came back and she said, "Little girl, are you still spinning your yarn?" And the bear cub tried again and say, "Yes, I'm still spinning my yarn." But this time Baba Yaga looked inside, and instead of the little girl, who did she see? The cub. And she said, "Oh no, the girl has escaped! Chuda Yuda, chase after them!" And so into the sky flew Chuda Yuda and started chasing the little girl and her brother. And as he flew, he breathed fire everywhere with his magic fire breath. So there he is flying, and they're running. What are they going to do? So they came to the river of milk with banks of what? Pudding, yes. And she said, river of milk with banks of pudding, please hide me and my brother. Chuda Yuda's after us." And the river said, "Please eat some of my simple pudding." And the little girl did what? She ate the simple pudding and she said, "Thank you so much, river." And the river hid them. Chuda Yuda came flying, breathing fire everywhere, but did not see the girl and the little brother and flew right over them. The little girl and her brother came out and they kept running. But guess what? Chuda Yuda came back to circle around and find them, and there's Chuda Yuda again, doing what? Breathing fire all over them. Oh, what will they do? So they ran until they got to the apple tree. And the little girl said, apple tree, please hide us." That was a balloon.
That was Chuda Yuda.
That was Chuda Yuda. Please hide us. And the tree said what? "Please eat one of my simple apples and I will hide you." The little girl ate the simple apple and said, "Thank you, tree." And the tree hid her behind the branches, and Chuda Yuda flew around but did not see them and flew right over them. So they kept on running back to their house, and they kept running. But Chuda Yuda did what? Came back around, of course, breathing fire again.
Papa, what's that, Red?
Yeah, flapping the wings, almost like he was going to catch them. So they ran and they tried to hide until they saw the oven. And they ran in and they said, "Oven, oven, please hide us." And the oven said, "What?" "Please eat one of my rye buns." And the little girl ate the rye bun right up and said, "Thank you so much." And so they hid inside, and Shuda flew right around and really looked around and said, where they are, and breathing, even more fire, all the way around, looking around, but the oven hid them. And Shuda left, and the little girl came out with her brother, got home to meet their parents just in time for supper.
That's what red thing.
Sun and moon and stars and moon and sun, this tale is now all done.
What?
Or as we say in Russian, we say сказки конец, а кто слушал, молодец.
But what's with that red?
So,
What's the red stuff?
what's the